Hi, I'm Anton Trust. 30 or more years ago, general elections used to be exciting times. I remember in 1964, when I was a sixth former in my school, we had a mock election and I got myself chosen as the Labour candidate in our mock election in a constituency where you could have put a blown up doll in for the Conservatives and they would have got in. And I suppose not surprisingly, in a school where you'd have a lot of rebellious children, Labour Party romped home and I won it. Exciting times. And that year Harold Wilson won the real general election with a majority of 4 seats, so some pretty heady times. When you look at the manifestos of the major political parties of that time, there was all kinds of meaty stuff in there, nationalisation or denationalisation, defence, foreign policy, tax laws, stuff to do with how industry was to be controlled, stuff to do with how agriculture might be controlled, all kinds of different policies that reflected the different ideals of the parties, the 2 main parties in the political spectrum. But if you do a little search via Google or whatever, and you dig out old manifestos from those major political parties from 30 and 40 years ago, and you compare them with the manifestos of the last general election, no comparison. Modern manifestos are bland, toothless affairs, very little to choose between them. Why? Well, because most of our policy, most of our laws, most of the ways in which this country is governed runs from Brussels, and we don't have any control over what they do. And so the MPs are fooling themselves that they are governing the country. About the only things left that our Parliament has any control over is the National Health Service and education, which has really led to a kind of over-fiddling around with those 2 things, which is why the National Health Service and the education system are in such disarray, why staff are so demoralised. Both could do with a little bit more money, which could come out of the huge amounts of money that we pour into the EU. The reasons, that's a challenge to those people who believe in the EU. Have a look at the manifestos and compare them of either party 40 years ago and today, and you'll see that we do not discuss a lot of things now that we used to discuss when we really genuinely did govern ourselves from Westminster.